Welcome to Local Edition. I'm Bella Shaw. State Senator Hannah-Beth Jackson has introduced a bill that would stop some offshore drilling in a very pristine area just north of Santa Barbara, and she joins us now to talk about that bill and another one we'll get to in a minute. But we're still seeing the effects of these major disasters with oil spills.
Well, we are, and we can't guarantee that they won't continue to happen. So I brought a bill, SB 1096, which is going to close a loophole that has allowed companies to try to bid to do more offshore oil drilling off the coast of Santa Barbara County, specifically off of Vandenberg Air Force Base, in what is considered one of the 5 most critical regions, ecological regions on the planet. It's a very pristine area. It's where we see the merging of the colder waters of the northern oceans meeting with the warmer Pacific oceans. The climate, everything comes together there in an area that is part of a coastal marine sanctuary that California declared back in 1994. But because of a loophole in the law, there is an opportunity for companies to try to come in and bid to continue drilling. This bill will put a closure on that loophole and protect that area.
And a lot of people may not realize, Senator, that back in 1969, when we had that big oil spill, that led to the modern International Earth Day.
Well, that's correct. That was quite a devastating moment, and the photographs that went around the world of birds. There were thousands of birds, and 35 miles of coastline was just covered in oil. That was just such a shocking and stark message of what can happen if we don't take control of the kinds of things going off our coast and just in general. I mean, our environment is very fragile, and when these kinds of things happen, they can have lifetime devastating impacts on the ecosystems that exist and on the balances that we have. Same thing with global climate change, of course. When you mess with the systems that exist, the responses are such that it puts everything out of balance. And here we don't want that to happen off our coast. There, as I mentioned, in 1994, California declared there were certain areas along its coast that were too important to allow to be developed by oil drilling, which we know is an inherently dangerous and precarious kind of process. And reflecting recently to the platform Horizon down in Louisiana, we're still having impacts from that. And even up in Alaska, actually, they're still finding oil drifting from the Exxon Valdez accident that occurred 20 years ago.
20 years ago. Let's switch gears, if we might, and switch from oil drilling onto unemployment.
Sure.
I guess the longer you're unemployed, it decreases your chances of finding a job, doesn't it?
That is true, and that's why I brought a bill that will that addresses a certain kind of Cal grant that is going to encourage those who are unemployed for more than 6 months to step up to seek these grants, but on condition that they're looking in areas where there's an economic need for the work that they are going to be trained to do. This is very important because we have about 40% of the people in California who are unemployed today are people who've been unemployed for more than 6 months. And we've discovered that when you are unemployed for more than 6 months, you have to submit 3.5 times as many resumes just to get an interview for a job. So we're saying to these people, let's mesh, let's blend people looking for work with the kinds of jobs that are available. And one of the requirements is that they are looking to get retrained in an area where there's a need. So if we're seeing an increase, for example, in the healthcare field or in the biotech field, there are jobs out there, hopefully good paying jobs. If they are going to go and attend retraining and classes in those areas, those are the ones we're going to try to give priority to as we go forward.
And this would cover the tuition and the books and help them get started out.
Well, it's a stipend. It's not as much as we would like, but it's certainly money that will help them get through the process.
State Senator Hannah-Beth Jackson, thank you so much for joining us here on Local Edition. We'll see you next time right here. I'm Bella Shaw.